So we just recorded this other video about 8 habits of wealthy and successful people. And one of the things that they said on there was that they keep track. This is actually something that we had already been thinking and talking a lot about recently.
We made a shift a little while ago. So I've been tracking our net worth, which is assets, everything you own, minus your liabilities, your debts. And that gives you a number. And that's your net worth. So it's a really simple thing to figure out. You know, a lot of people think it's a really complicated calculation. It's not. It's really easy. It's a good number to determine whether or not you're going forward financially or backwards. And that's why I love it, because it's one simple number. And we started tracking this many, many years ago.
We were in the negative.
And we were negative. We had a negative net worth, you know. So it was a very humble kind of beginning with it. But as we've made smarter financial decisions, you know, we've watched that number go up. And that's been fun. But since we were dating, like we both have sensed this call on our lives to be able to give a lot of money away. We want to be able to give millions of dollars away to support causes we believe in, really to fund and finance kingdom activities, and just to be used by God in whatever capacity through our giving.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, like it just kind of dawned on me that we have two things that are fighting against each other. Our net worth tracking, which we enjoy tracking this number to see it going up, but we also want to give away a lot of money. And when we give money away, it pulls that number down. So these two are working against each other and just fighting each other. But there's a tension there, because I found myself not wanting to give as much because it was going to make our net worth go down. And because I'm a numbers guy, I just want to see that number go up, you know? And that tension was just eating at me. And finally, I was praying about this, and I felt like God showed me, like, why don't you start tracking your giving? From that point, we started tracking what we call our net giving. Essentially, it's just a simple spreadsheet where we track how much we give each month. And now that is our primary metric for success, because it lines up with our goal of giving a lot of money away. It was just kind of a game changer for us, because it made giving something, it eliminated that frustration and that tension, and it made giving fun, and it made something that excites us, that we get to watch that number rise. Yeah, it's just really, really fun.
That is the more important number to us.
Yeah, it's
like,
the number
our
that
net worth
has...
is not as important to us as the number of our...
Absolutely. It's a number that has eternal value. You know what I mean? That was something that I'm really, really glad we did. And the funny thing, and this shouldn't be a surprise, you would think that by tracking your net giving and by working on that, like, it is going to reduce your net worth and it's going to go down. But what we found is the opposite. We found that as we keep our giving going up and we keep our net giving going up, our net worth actually goes up lockstep with it. It like makes no sense in the natural.
It is pretty amazing.
But, you know, that's how God works.
Yeah, his ways are not our ways. He does things that the ways of the kingdom, or the laws of the kingdom, seem to be opposite of what they are on earth. And so, yeah, that's been really fun. Do you want to talk kind of practically about how we do this?
Yeah, I mean, what specifically?
So how do you track it?
All right, so getting super practical with this, I'll have my spreadsheet linked up. I'll have a link hopefully up above here and down in the description, so you can get it and then use it as a template if you want. The gist of it is just a simple spreadsheet where we track what gift we have given, how much it cost, the date, maybe the reason. Some of these columns aren't necessary, but we just kind of like having them in there. Just any opportunity we have to give, like we get it down on the sheet just to be able to track it.
One of the ways we do this is we have a giving category in our budget. First of all, that is like one of the best things that we ever did.
It's a game changer.
Total
it
game
made
changer.
Giving, it like made it at least 5 times more fun.
Yeah, for real. So we pull money out of there to give to our church. And there are some other ministries and some like non-for-profits, I guess you could say, that we really are excited about or that have personally ministered to us that we want to give to.
We support,
Basically, the rest of it, whatever's left over, is stuff that we can just give to individuals.
Random stuff. Yeah, cash we want to have on hand for whenever we feel the Lord tugging on our heart to do something.
Yeah, so a GoFundMe would be a really good example. So yeah, it just makes it so much easier. I don't have to decide if we're going to buy groceries with this money or if I'm going to buy my mom a present, Yeah. Because I really want to bless my mom. I want to honor my mom.
We have it budgeted. It's just sitting there waiting to be spent. And like, it's just a game changer. It really makes it so much easier. So if you don't do that, definitely do it.
We really highly recommend it.
All right, so when I was about 23, 24, somewhere in there, I went and met with a life coach. And he didn't call himself a life coach. I'm calling him a life coach. But basically, he was a guy who was really successful, and he's a man of God, and somebody I looked up to, and I was kind of at a point in my life where I felt everything but. I felt very unsuccessful. I felt like nothing was really working, and I just wanted some wisdom and advice on how to get unstuck, if you will. We went and sat down in this cheesecake factory, and we were having lunch, and he's a very direct guy, and he says, all right, well, what do you want? I'm like, are you talking about food right now? Or are you talking about like out of life? And he's like, out of life, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know, like, you know, and he just drilled me, blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
ultimately,
Forced you to pick something.
yeah, ultimately I came down and I said, well, I want to be able to make this amount of money. Like, that'd be really nice and good for my family. I feel like I'd be able to provide for them better, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, great, write it down. And anyway, and so he's like, what else? And we get to the point where I'm talking about giving. And I'm like, well, I want to give away this much money. And it's like considerably more than the number I said on how much I want to make. And he's like, that doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. Like, and he's thinking like mathematically that you just can't do that. And if you're only tithing that, like you're not gonna be able to give that much away. I'm like, well, I don't no, this is my goal. If I'm gonna have a ridiculous goal, I want this to be the ridiculous goal. Let it be my ridiculous goal. Kind of out of this that I realized, if this is my goal, I don't know, it just seemed like a better thing to do was to track my actual giving and to track my net giving, rather than chasing the highest number of earnings I could possibly do. Like, that just seemed like a short-sighted, unfulfilling goal. It's just trying to earn as much money as I can or accumulate as much as I can.
Yeah.
And so that was just kind of part of the driving force behind this whole thing.
Yeah, and what was really exciting too is I felt like this was way back when we really did not have much money at all, but we had this desire in our heart to give. And so we started tracking this, and it was exciting to be able to see that number go up, even though we still had a ton of debt and we still had other things that we were in a hole that we needed to dig ourselves out of. But the number that actually meant the most to us, we watched it go up even when we were not in the best state financially.
Yeah. All this to say, if you want to join us and start tracking your net giving, I'll have a spreadsheet down below that you can download and make a copy for yourself, so you can start doing that. Love to see you get on board with this. And I think that's it. So if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe and hit that little bell so YouTube actually shows you the video, because apparently they're not showing it much if you don't hit the bell. And I think that's all for today. So be blessed, be a blessing, and we'll see you next time.